Have you ever experienced those strange coincidences that seem like more than just random occurrences? Like when you think of someone and suddenly that person calls you or sends a message. In this video, we will explore this phenomenon that Carl Jung called synchronicity, coincidences that seem full of meaning and appear to guide our lives. But how real is this? And could interpreting these coincidences actually hinder us rather than help? We'll understand how synchronicity can influence our decisions, what science has to say about these coincidences, and, of course, the risks of taking signs too literally. By watching this video, you'll learn how recognizing these synchronicities can enrich your self-awareness, but also how to maintain balance between what is intuition and what could be a misleading impulse. So, have you ever wondered if those coincidences you encounter are signs, or just your mind searching for meaning? Stay tuned, because you'll discover how to interpret these moments without losing your clarity and autonomy. Synchronicity is that type of coincidence that feels impossible to be just random, right? It's as if the universe is aligning events, giving clues that seem directly connected to something we're living or desiring. Carl Jung, the great psychologist, spoke of this concept as a way for the unconscious to manifest in the real world. Imagine you're thinking of an answer to a dilemma, and suddenly, a song plays on the radio with lyrics that say exactly what you needed to hear. That's synchronicity in action. These meaningful coincidences attract a lot of people because they give us the feeling that we're being guided by something greater. Who hasn't experienced that moment when a sequence of strange events appears just when your mind is focused on something important? Synchronicity can even show up in common situations, like meeting someone who offers you a job opportunity exactly when you are considering changing careers. It's as if these coincidences are giving us a little nudge in the right direction. But do these coincidences really mean something, or is it just our mind trying to connect the dots? That's the fascinating dilemma behind synchronicity. The feeling that these events have meaning attracts us because it's comforting to think that the universe is communicating with us. However, understanding the fine line between synchronicity and simple coincidence will help us explore this concept more deeply and understand how it can or cannot guide our lives. When we talk about synchronicity, we can't avoid mentioning the concept of the collective unconscious, something Jung brilliantly explained. The collective unconscious is like a universal database, a repository of experiences, symbols, and images that are not just personal, but shared by all humanity. When you begin to have synchronized experiences, it's as if you're tapping into this deeper dimension where everyone is connected in some way. This means that synchronicities aren't just happening to you, they're happening to everyone at the same time. This bank of collective images and symbols can manifest in our dreams, in mythologies, or even in the synchronicities of everyday life. For example, think about how archetypal symbolism appears in universal stories, like heroes in search of transformation or figures of wisdom at crucial moments in life. What Jung believed is that when we encounter a synchronicity, we're in some way in contact with these deeper layers of the collective unconscious, where we're touched by symbols that speak directly to our soul. When you notice a synchronicity, it's as if the collective unconscious is trying to communicate with you through these symbols and events. The thing is, we're often so busy with the external world that we don't pay attention to these clues. That's why, by recognizing these connections, we can start to realize how interconnected we are to something greater and deeper that transcends our individual understanding. This relationship between synchronicity and the collective unconscious challenges us to think about life differently, much beyond what is tangible or rational. There's something mysterious and almost magical about synchronicities. They fascinate us because they challenge our rational view of the world and invite us to look beyond the obvious. When an event seemingly without connection aligns perfectly with another, it feels like something greater is at work. This generates a sense of wonder, as if we're touching an aspect of the universe that's normally beyond the reach of our senses. It's like when you think of someone and minutes later, they send you a message. It's not just a coincidence, it's something that enchants us. This fascination is also tied to the human desire to find patterns and meanings. Our mind naturally seeks connections between events, and when something fits perfectly without a clear explanation, we get the feeling that there's something greater guiding us. In times of uncertainty, when things seem out of control, synchronicities offer a comforting sense of order and purpose. They remind us that, despite everything, the universe may be orchestrating things to guide us where we need to go. But perhaps the greatest fascination synchronicities evoke is the feeling of belonging and connection to the whole. When something aligns almost supernaturally, the person feels that they're not alone. There's a greater force in the universe that guides them and connects them to others and the world around them. This type of experience can be profoundly transformative, making the person feel more integrated, with the sense that they're part of a larger plan. And it's this feeling of belonging and connection that makes synchronicities so irresistible to our mind and soul. Interpreting a synchronicity as an inevitable destiny can be a dangerous mistake. After all, synchronicities may seem like they're leading us down a predetermined path, but that doesn't mean we're trapped on that path. Seeing a synchronicity as a message from the universe to follow one single route can create a feeling of powerlessness. After all, if something was written in the stars, where does our free will fit in? The truth is that synchronicities can be guidance, but they shouldn't be confused with absolute destiny. When we put the entire weight of our decision-making into the hands of synchronicity, we're denying our own ability to act and choose. This can lead to passivity, preventing us from taking responsibility for our lives. For example, you might experience a synchronicity involving a dream job or an unexpected romantic encounter, but that doesn't mean success or happiness will come without effort on your part. Synchronicity might be a sign, but moving toward it depends on your actions and choices, not on a preordained fate. The danger of seeing synchronicity as an absolute destiny is that it can create unrealistic expectations and frustration. If you expect all synchronicities to follow a clear and certain path, any deviation from that may feel like a failure. However, synchronicities should be seen as moments of opportunity, not immutable sentences. By recognizing them as signs to help make more aligned decisions, rather than seeing each one as a divine command, you can use these experiences in a healthier and more transformative way, without feeling trapped by them. Carl Jung warned about the danger of psychic inflation, which occurs when we overly identify with a synchronicity or psychological phenomenon as if it were the key to understanding our entire existence. This inflation can lead us into a state of delusional grandeur, where we believe that mystical or intuitive experiences make us special or chosen. However, Jung emphasized that this process distorts our perception of reality, distancing us from a balanced view of ourselves. The trap here is the idea that we are the only ones who understand the truth, which can result in an inflated ego and poor decisions. Living under the effect of psychic inflation, we begin to see everything around us as part of a grand cosmic plan, where we're the protagonists. This can be tempting, as it's easy to feel in control or to have a grand destiny ahead of us, especially when experiences like synchronicities happen during times of great need or desire. However, Jung warns that by doing this, we move away from our true nature and potential. A balanced awareness of our limitations and our place in the world is essential for healthy self-development. For example, imagine you experience a series of coincidences that seem to be leading you down a specific path, and you begin to convince yourself that this path is the only right choice. That's psychic inflation. Instead of acting with discernment, you might start ignoring contrary signs or dismissing the fact that sometimes coincidences are just coincidences. True wisdom comes when we can keep our feet on the ground, recognizing that while synchronicities might guide us, We are the ones who decide how to act on them. The key is to use these experiences as tools without letting them dominate us. The psychology of coincidences is a fascinating field of study, which seeks to understand how our minds process events that seem significant, but under scientific analysis, can be explained as simple random patterns. Cognitive psychology suggests that our brain is designed to find patterns, an evolutionary trait that helped humans perceive threats and opportunities in the environment. When we encounter coincidences, the brain automatically tries to connect the dots, attributing a greater meaning to these events. This is part of our human need to find order in a world that is often chaotic and unpredictable. However, science does not dismiss synchronicity experiences as completely irrelevant. While there are no definitive explanations for all coincidences, many psychologists agree that they may reflect our emotional and psychological state. For example, when we're going through times of great stress or transition, our minds tend to focus on details and patterns around us, making coincidences seem more frequent. What may appear as synchronicity is actually a reflection of our mind, seeking solutions or answers to what we are experiencing. It is interesting to note that modern science, particularly quantum physics, has brought new perspectives on the subject. Some theories suggest that everything in the universe is interconnected in complex ways, so certain events might indeed be more aligned than we imagine. Still, psychology maintains a more cautious view on coincidences, emphasizing the importance of cultivating a critical and questioning mindset. When we accept that coincidences may simply be coincidences, we are able to act with greater clarity and less dependence on magical interpretations. Synchronicity can become a powerful tool for self-knowledge when we approach it with an open yet critical mindset. It invites us to look more deeply into what is happening around us and question how these events relate to our inner state. Rather than seeing coincidences as mere accidents, we can use them as clues from our unconscious, helping us access desires, fears, or patterns we hadn't noticed before. By reflecting on the synchronicities we experience, we begin to better understand what is happening within us. For example, a person may start to notice that certain types of people or situations repeat in their life, and these repetitions may reflect unresolved issues or limiting beliefs. Perhaps someone who always attracts dysfunctional relationships is, without realizing it, repeating a subconscious pattern related to low self-esteem. A synchronicity, such as meeting someone who expresses a wisdom missing from their own life, could be a reflection of the desire to overcome this pattern. These coincidences provoke us to reflect on areas of our life that still need healing and growth. Additionally, synchronicity calls us to act more consciously. By noticing these connections, we can make decisions that are more aligned with our true essence. Instead of reacting to situations automatically, as we often do, we begin to realize that external experiences can serve as mirrors for what is happening internally. This gives us the opportunity to change, correct our course, and act with greater authenticity, aligning our steps with what we truly want for our lives. History is full of examples of synchronicity that, at first glance, seem like mere coincidences, but upon closer analysis, reveal something beyond simple chance. One classic example is Carl Jung and the woman he was treating in his office. She was deeply skeptical about his therapies until, during a session, Jung himself experienced a synchronicity. He received a rare jewel as a gift from a client. Exactly at the same moment, the woman mentioned her belief in the symbolism of objects. This event not only fascinated the patient, but also made her deeply reflect on the relationship between her unconscious and the situations around her. Another famous example involves writer and philosopher Paulo Coelho, who went through a synchronicity experience while writing The Alchemist. During his journey to publish the book, he faced obstacles and coincidences that seemed to lead him to unexpected situations. but everything aligned perfectly for his work to be finally published. Carl has always spoken about synchronicity as an invisible force that guides us on our personal journey. For him, these moments are not just luck or accidents, but signs that help us align our goals with our true life mission. Furthermore, many great scientists and artists have reported experiences of synchronicity in their fields of work. Albert Einstein, for example, used to say that coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous. He believed that when we encounter a solution or insight unexpectedly, the universe is somehow guiding us, providing clues that help us advance in our quest for understanding and progress. These examples teach us that synchronicity can be seen as a force that acts as an invisible guide, leading us to the paths we should take, often at the most improbable moments. While synchronicity is fascinating and can bring a sense of deep connection with the universe, it is essential to maintain a skeptical stance toward these phenomena. Skepticism does not mean denying synchronicity, but rather approaching it with discernment, questioning what it is truly trying to teach us. Often, coincidences can be explained more rationally, as products of our own thoughts or the context around us. Without a critical eye, we risk attributing unreal meanings to events that are, in fact, simple strokes of chance. Take, for example, the times when we are anxious for a change and suddenly start seeing the number 1111 everywhere. For many, this is a sign that something is about to happen, a type of message from the universe. However, the simplest explanation is that our brains tend to seek patterns, creating meanings in events that would otherwise go unnoticed. This does not invalidate the power of synchronicity, but challenges us to question, are we interpreting the signs objectively, or are we just seeing what we want to see? Constant questioning, therefore, helps filter out hasty interpretations and understand the true nature of experiences. Staying skeptical also means being open to other possibilities and not being carried away by unfounded beliefs. When you question, you strengthen yourself and, at the same time, expand your understanding of what is happening around you. This does not mean discrediting synchronicity, but rather interpreting it with clarity and using the lessons it offers in a balanced way. This leads to true self-knowledge and the ability to discern what is meaningful and what is, in fact, a passing coincidence. Throughout this journey, we have seen that synchronicity is not a cosmic force that guides our destinies in an inflexible way. It is, indeed, a powerful tool of inspiration, offering us moments of connection with something greater, but it depends on our interpretation and awareness to be truly valuable. We cannot, therefore, see these coincidences as mandates of fate. They are simply opportunities to guide us toward our purpose in a more intuitive way. The true beauty of synchronicity lies in how it drives us to question, reflect, and seek a deeper meaning in our lives. When we understand it this way, it becomes a powerful ally in our path of self-knowledge and personal transformation. But remember, synchronicity should not be confused with fate, which imposes an unchangeable end. It is more like a sign that encourages us to choose the right path for us, but the decision to follow that path is still ours. So, the next time you come across a synchronicity, look at it with curiosity and gratitude, but also with discernment. Question, analyze, and use synchronicity as an inspiration to create your own destiny, rather than surrendering to a fixed idea of how things should be. The true magic lies in the balance between seeing the signs and understanding that, in the end, we are the ones who write the story of our lives. Did you like the content? Then don't forget to subscribe to the channel to not miss any amazing videos like this one. Like, share with your friends, and activate notifications to stay updated on everything coming up. Together, let's continue exploring the fascinating universe of synchronicity and how it can transform your life. Don't miss the chance to dive deeper into this knowledge and make a difference in your daily life.